Easy Nesbitt, hey, and Miss Shirley, hey, Easy Nesbitt, oh, and Miss Shirley, whoa, 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 Easy and Miss Shirley, whoa, whoa, Easy and Miss Shirley. Where we at? J. Pep Show.
This is Miss Shirley, okay? Miss Shirley, right? When I tell you that, I mean Miss Shirley is the small child, okay? She's gone viral in a bunch of social media posts where she does this weird dance, you know? It's an inappropriate dance for a small child to do. Okay, it's cute maybe one or two times, but there's several videos of her doing this, and she's appeared in the video for the song that she normally dances to. I'm not playing the song right now. I can't remember the song or whatnot, but it's just like kind of a, a twerk song or something. So the little kid just, she's mimicking what an adult does or whatnot. And, I remember when I was growing up, we do little, provocative things as kids, and your mother and wayward aunts and female cousins would think it was funny and shit. It's the same cousins that, normalized giving little boys these long braids and shit, dressing some of them like fucking girls. It's been going on for a long time, that whole dress deal and shit that we like to talk about in Hollywood and shit. It's been going on as part of the culture, okay? And, when I look at this shit, man, when I looked at Miss Shirley walking down that hall, I think this was a Jennifer Hudson show. Yeah, I see Miss Shirley coming down that hall, a little cute little girl, and then followed by a mother. Mother's wearing like this red dress and this big brimmed hat and shit, and she looked just like that vampire character from that Resident Evil Village game, that Lady Demis. Whatever, don't matter. Like some of y'all ain't gamers and shit, but there's this outfit I saw before in a fucking video game. The vampire was wearing it. How appropriate and whatnot. And she's wearing a red version of it and shit. It's like she's grooming a daughter. I think this is a daughter. If it ain't a daughter, somebody need to call CPS. In a righteous world, in a world that made sense and shit, CPS would be all over this woman. For those fucking videos. Because there's videos and this little girl's like she's squatting down and twisting her leg and shit in a certain way. It's the same way I saw that, almost the same way I saw these little girls in the Faith Evans video from I don't know if it was the 90s, I think it was the 90s. And I felt the same way about that video that I felt about, when I'm watching this clip and shit and I've seen the other clips. I feel like putting my foot up the mother's ass. Okay? I feel like putting my foot up the mother's ass. You can see the mother and shit. She got a long shoebox head and a porch monkey face and shit, okay? And she's living vicariously through her daughter and shit. And I don't know where the father of this fucking daughter is, but I'd imagine that he's not in the house. Okay, I'd like to. Who knows? Sometimes they have men in the house and the men are just so exhausted, that they can't even deal with the shit the woman does. They just wear you down in these codependent, fucked up relationships. They just introduce non-stop drama and chatter, and you never get to rest, and they always got something going on and shit. You have to deal with it whether you want to or not, and you end up exhausted, flayed out on the couch while she goes about her life and shit, even keeping a side dude and, sleeping in a separate bedroom and all that bullshit. The kids suffer for this shit. Okay, the kids fucking suffer. Now, even if they grow up and go to a decent school and college and everything, there's something missing there and shit. It's called adequate parenting. Okay? When I watched this little kid walk down the hall, for 1 second I thought it was cute. Then when I saw that mama come out in that red satanic dress, I feel like I should be walking out dancing too, right behind her mama, and just like have it like a Timberland on and kick it right up the butthole. Okay? I'm disgusted. I'm tired of this kind of shit. When I looked at the mom's face, I felt like she's probably I don't know where she comes from. It seemed like she might be Southern or something. Not throwing casting aspersions and shit, but I thought this whole thing was inappropriate. It's fucking up this kid's life, taking away her childhood. And the only reason I say that is because she appeared on this show, and her mom probably got a bag for that. And she thinks she gonna put that shit in the college fund. You know, there's rules in Hollywood for child performers that the parent must put a percentage of money away for the child to have when they grow up. That's a rule, but shit. I don't think this woman's doing that. You know, she just scraping. You know, she's just sucking her bones dry. Right? This exploitation, this child exploitation. I'm just not real comfortable with it, and I think that the father of this baby need to come get his motherfucking daughter. You know, he need to come get his motherfucking daughter and shit, and he need to put his foot up her ass. All right. And she want to do some shit. She can do the twerk dance. Nobody don't want to look at a woman with an ugly hangdog face, you know, fucking around on the Jennifer Hudson show. Nobody don't want to look at her fucking ass. She's not even a dime a dozen. She's not even a wooden nickel and shit. Okay? She's not even a wooden nickel. Even while making this video, I don't feel like I'm going as far as enough as I could go just talking and shit. That's how annoyed and irritated I am by this shit. Okay? You know, in our community, in the supposed ethnic community, men that want to be fathers to their children, they have to fight for their kids. They have to fight a in-game style battle just to be in a kid's life and shit. They have to do shit and sneak around and parent their kids, ghost parent their kids and shit at best. Fight the mother all the time at worst and be parentally alienated, demonized and shit. It's really personal for me. Okay? I think this woman needs like a big ass Volkswagen sized Timberland right up her crack of her ass and shit. And then I think CDS need to check in on her. Okay? I think she need to be on her parents. Her parental style should be heavily supervised by the government. And I say that because they interfered in our community and destroyed it and shit. They destroyed the nuclear family there. And whatnot. They always got their nose in something and shit. And this is the result of shit. What is this little girl, what is Miss Shirley gonna be when by the time she gets in her pre-teens? You imagine what she gonna be like and shit? She gonna be all burnt out and shit. You know, she might be angry. You know, I have some younger cousins, males, that are burnt out. You know, I had to see them. They had this dead eye stare that I had seen in Hollywood a bunch of times when looking at people's face that had fucked their lives up and shit by, you know, taking a bag from the red man. And here we have a little toddler, you know, being exploited by a mother in a red dress like a harlot. Just gotta say the word Jezebel. Okay? They don't give a fuck. These women don't care about shit but themselves. She don't care about her daughter doing all that shit because she's living vicariously through her daughter. She shouldn't have this child. Alright? She should be heavily supervised and shit while she's raising a daughter and shit. Right? You know, I don't want to hear, when I see shit like this, I do not want to hear, you know, women talking to me about, you know, the bodily autonomy, you know, the autonomy of the body and shit. Look what the fuck you do with this choice that God gave you. You know, this great gift and shit. You exploit and pervert it and shit. Okay, I know I start come off like a conservative and shit. I'm a very even-keeled, open-minded person and shit, but I feel the way I fucking feel. This woman need a Timberland up her ass and shit. Okay? And they could bring Bruce Lee back from the dead to throw in the martial art kicks with a Timberland on and fuck this motherfucker up and shit. Yeah. And somebody gonna argue me down and say, oh, it's just like, she's so cute and it's not, yeah. She's cute now and shit. She ain't gonna look like this all the time and shit. And I'm afraid what could happen to her because her mom ain't paying attention and don't give a fuck. Okay, a porch monkey mama with the ugly, drawn out, hangdog face, googly eyed motherfucker ain't giving a shit. She counting dollars, exploiting her kid and shit. Alright? And that kid should be in foster care as far as I'm concerned. They should take that kid from her ass and, you know, assign that kid an accredited therapist above the age of 50. Alright? And making a psychiatric evaluation of this kid to see what the damage is. And I think all monies should be, you know, I think the mother should be audited, financially audited, and have those monies removed and placed in a trust for this kid so she can use it when she get old and shit. And to teach her mother a lesson about exploiting her motherfucking kids. And she should have her ass whooped with a switch, like old school style. You know? I'll tell you, one of my grandparents I never met, right? Because he passed away, my grandfather, on my mom's side, he passed away like the day before I was born, right? But from what I've been told, when he was alive, a lot of the female fuckery in the family was very muted. Was muted because he just wasn't having it. So they'll do that shit when he at work or out of the house and shit. They just do fucked up shit. Get away with it, I guess. And I think about him. I never met him and shit. I have pictures of him and shit. Pictures of him when he was young, and I seen a couple of pictures of him when he's old. And the look on his face matches what I'm saying right now. Right now and shit. And I'm told that my grandfather appeared in the earliest issues of Jet magazine for gunplay in the house of worship and shit against a member of his family who was out of pocket. Alright? I'm not gonna get into that shit because some asshole that's probably listening to this shit and writing it down for future litigation. Alright? Don't worry, don't put too much into that shit. I just, I want to, I don't feel like I've gone further enough, as far as talking about how I feel about the mother of Miss Shirley and shit. Alright? She is a piece of shit. Okay? She is a child exploiting, trafficking piece of shit. And they should give her the same charges they give to Diddy. Alright? They should give her the same charges they give to fucking Diddy. And she should be in some trouble with the law. And they should go find her the baby's daddy. If I was a judge, I would order a DNA test of that little girl. Because I don't think I wouldn't even waste my time asking them other shit. I would order a DNA test and get in contact with the daddy of that baby. And see if he want to parent this child and shit. See if he want to co-parent this child or do something and shit with this motherfucking child. If he, if there's no paperwork where he done signed over his parental rights, I would enact that shit, okay, in the best interest of the child. And I wouldn't be above mentioning that Miss Shirley has some money socked away in a trust and shit that must be managed properly and shit. Just to fuck the mother over. I want to fuck over and shit. They automatically give rights to the children and shit, no matter what their mental state is, no matter what their temperament is, no matter what any priors they may have or any criminal record and shit, on all ends of one end of the spectrum to the other. And this is the result and shit. They're not raising children, they're raising their buddies, They're raising running buddies. They want to be cool with their daughter and shit. They want to compete with their motherfucking daughter and shit. They want to corrupt their fucking daughter with their lax parenting. They're so selfish, right? They're so selfish. They don't realize what a gift it is to have a child. Right? They don't realize what that is and what that's all about. That this is a gift from the Most High. Shit, the fact that you can carry a child in your womb. Right? No one gives her a fucking child. She makes a decision to be a mother, sometimes without the male donor. Okay, if you get my drift. And what do we get for that shit? We get to hear endless complaints about how, black males, get these women pregnant and shit. You can't make your shit up, okay? They have a higher STI rate than the men. They have a lower marriage rate than the men in this supposed ethnic community, which I liken, as you well know. Some of you will throw up in your mouth when I say this. I liken this community to a petri dish with a Tupperware lid on top of this bitch. Okay, and you can't blame me when you look at Miss Shirley being exploited here. Brings a tear to my eye and shit, see a little girl doing that. And she looks so happy and shit. You could probably tell it was wrong and shit, and she would cry. The mom would start running her mouth, flapping her black gums. Whether she was talking to the hand or not. Might want to throw a fist with you or something. Yeah, just say fuck it. I says, in a real world, in a world that makes sense, the world is not going into the abyss. Somebody on that, working at the Jennifer Hudson show would anonymously tip off CPS and shit. I mean, recently they did the same for Krishan Rock after she left her kid she left her mentally challenged and mentally disturbed baby because she drank while she was pregnant. She left that baby in the car while she was doing a shoot for Twitch, and she got banned from Twitch. Right? She got banned from Twitch, man. All right, somebody on that who was there, working on the film crew, called CPS and reported her fucking ass. I wish somebody had the wherewithal, the conscience, the humanity to do the same for Miss Shirley.
The Black Patriarchy. A non-existent group of fictional black male power brokers not discredited, erroneously jailed or outright killed by the minority majority who look the other way as they work tirelessly to shame, oppress, and outright take out the altruistic black female populace of the honorable democratic United States of America. 3K's inset bitches. These evil wealthy members of the black patriarchy are the sole reason for all the ills of the black community, walking, talking, holding down jobs, and doing everything up to and including giving their very lives in service to their baby mamas and baby's motherfucking kids. Their motto that strikes fear into the hearts of black women everywhere: bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks.